You think you're just one skill away from greatness, right? One more piece to the puzzle. But what if I told you there are only two skills you need to master if you want an extraordinary life? The truth is, you're already closer than you think. You've got everything you need inside of you. It's just about unlocking the right power within. Skills, so simple yet so powerful that they can transform every aspect of your life. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. You'll be ready to take action on the two most critical things that will guarantee your success. Self-mastery is not about achieving perfection, it's about achieving control. Every day, you're faced with countless decisions, and the only thing standing between you and your extraordinary life is the ability to control your responses. Think about it. The moment you gain control over your emotions, your actions, and your thoughts, you're no longer a slave to your impulses. You're the architect of your life. Look at the story of one of the world's most successful investors, Warren Buffett. He is known for making decisions based on logic, not emotion. In the midst of financial chaos, when everyone around him is panicking, Buffett remains calm. Why? Because he's mastered the art of controlling his emotional state. When others react to fear, Buffett stays grounded in logic, staying true to his long-term vision. That is the power of self-mastery. It's the ability to control your impulses and operate from a place of clear, deliberate action. But let's be real, this doesn't come easily. Life will test you. People will push your buttons. The world will throw challenges your way. And the easy thing to do is to react. When you're faced with frustration, disappointment, or anger, it's tempting to let those emotions rule you. But every time you give in to those emotions, you lose a little bit of your power. The key is learning how to pause before you respond. When you catch yourself in a moment of emotional reaction, ask yourself, is this the person I want to be? Is this the version of myself that will help me achieve my dreams? Think about the legendary basketball player Kobe Bryant. His discipline on and off the court was a direct result of his commitment to self-mastery. Every morning before dawn, he would wake up and practice. While others slept, he was refining his skills, training his mind, and controlling his impulses. He had the mental toughness to push through pain, exhaustion, and setbacks. He wasn't just working on his physical game, he was developing his mindset. He could stay calm in the pressure of a game, not because he didn't feel the stress, but because he trained his mind to respond with clarity, not chaos. Self-mastery is about doing the hard things when no one's watching. It's about saying no to that extra hour of sleep to work on your goals. It's about managing your emotions so that they don't control your behavior. It's about not letting your circumstances dictate your reactions. Real self-mastery doesn't come from following a set of rules. It comes from developing the inner strength to make the right choices, even when those choices are uncomfortable. It's about owning the moment every single time. When you master yourself, you unlock a power greater than anything else in the world. Because the truth is, when you're in control of yourself, the world around you starts to bend to your will. But don't mistake self-mastery for self-criticism. It's not about being hard on yourself, it's about being honest with yourself. It's about being aware of your weaknesses and actively working to strengthen them. This is the foundation of true power: the awareness to see your faults, the courage to face them, and the discipline to improve. The moment you stop giving in to temporary emotions and start making decisions based on your highest values, that's when your life begins to change. That's when you step into your true power. Self-mastery isn't a skill you develop overnight, but with daily effort, the results are transformative. You begin to see life through a lens of opportunity, not limitation. You become the kind of person who doesn't wait for success to happen, you create it. In a world that thrives on distractions, focus has become one of the most rare and valuable skills you can possess. You wake up to your phone buzzing, emails piling up, social media notifications flashing at you like neon signs. The world wants your attention, but here's the truth. You can't be everywhere at once, and you can't be everything to everyone. You can either chase after all the distractions, or you can harness the power of focus and build the life you truly desire. Focus is the laser beam that allows you to see clearly when the fog of chaos is clouding your path. It's the difference between wandering aimlessly and knowing exactly where you're going. Think about it. How often have you set a goal, started off with great momentum, only to get sidetracked by 1,000 other things? Most people fall victim to this. They're like a dog chasing after every squirrel they see. But the ones who achieve extraordinary success, They learn how to block out the noise and commit to their vision with unwavering attention. Take a moment to think about the greatest innovators in history. Steve Jobs was known for his incredible focus. When he returned to Apple in the late 90s, the company was on the brink of failure. Apple had dozens of products, but they lacked direction. Jobs cut them all out. He simplified the product line, focusing on a few key innovations that would change the tech world forever. The iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. He didn't try to do everything. He focused on the few things that mattered most and created breakthroughs that no one else saw coming. This is what focus does for you. It enables you to move mountains by zeroing in on the one thing that will push you toward your goal instead of being pulled in 100 different directions. But here's the reality. Focus isn't just about blocking out external distractions, it's about managing internal distractions as well. The greatest enemy of focus is the mind. It's your inner voice that says, maybe I should check my email, or what if I'm missing out on something? This is where the real battle takes place, between your dreams and your distractions. Your ability to focus requires you to master your thoughts, to silence the internal noise, and to train your mind to stay fixed on the task at hand. Think about the intense focus of a champion athlete. Serena Williams, for example, isn't just physically gifted, she's mentally unshakable. Before every match, she visualizes her victory. She blocks out the crowd, the pressure, and the noise, and her only focus is on the next point. That level of concentration, that ability to stay present in the moment, is what allows her to perform at the highest level. When you can focus like this, you enter what's called a flow state, where time seems to stop and all your energy is channeled into the one thing that matters. This is where real magic happens. This is where breakthroughs are born. But here's the catch. Focus doesn't happen by accident. It's cultivated. It's a skill you develop over time. And it starts with one simple decision: to commit to the task in front of you. No excuses, no distractions, just you, your goal, and your unwavering attention. Start small, choose one task, one project, and commit to giving it your undivided attention for just 30 minutes. Turn off your phone, close the door, eliminate everything that doesn't serve your goal. Then slowly begin to build your focus muscle. As you do, you'll start noticing how your productivity skyrockets, how your progress accelerates, and how you feel more in control of your life. Focus isn't just a tool, it's a superpower. And once you unlock it, your ability to create, to achieve, and to succeed becomes limitless. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that's been pulling at your attention but hasn't received your full focus? What could happen if you gave it your full, undivided attention today? Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't get the applause, the headlines, or the attention, but it's the secret weapon that will determine whether you rise to greatness or remain stuck in mediocrity. The truth is, success doesn't come from one big, bold move. It's the sum of 1,000 small actions repeated day after day without fail, even when no one is watching. That's what separates the winners from the dreamers. The winners understand the power of showing up every single day. Think about the most successful people in the world, people like Oprah Winfrey, who built an empire from humble beginnings. Do you think she became a billionaire by waiting for the perfect moment or taking a break after one big victory? No, she showed up every day. She didn't wait for things to fall into place. She made them fall into place with relentless consistency. In the world of sports, look at the legendary swimmer Michael Phelps. Here's a man who won 23 Olympic gold medals. But if you think he reached that level of success with talent alone, you're mistaken. Phelps showed up to practice every single day without fail, even when he didn't feel like it. Even when his body was sore, when he was exhausted, when his mind wanted to quit. The water didn't care, the clock didn't care. He had to show up day after day and put in the work. Success didn't happen in a moment. It happened in every lap, every stroke, every early morning. That's the power of consistency. It's the invisible force that takes small actions and turns them into massive results. But here's what most people don't understand. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about continuing even when the initial excitement has worn off and the novelty has faded. This is where most people fall short. They stop when things get hard. But the ones who make it big, they keep going. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you started something, whether it was a workout routine, a new project, or a business venture, and then abandoned it after a few weeks because it got difficult or you didn't see immediate results? I get it. It's easy to lose steam when the finish line is far out of sight. But that's the trick. The finish line doesn't matter if you keep running. Think about the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare was faster, but it was the tortoise who kept moving at a steady pace who crossed the finish line first. That's the lesson right there. Slow and steady wins the race, but only if you don't stop. Psychologically, consistency creates a sense of momentum. Every small effort you make builds upon the last, and eventually it compounds. You can't see it in the moment, but each step forward is like a brick in the foundation of your success. Over time, these bricks add up to something powerful, a life you've intentionally built, one consistent action at a time. Here's the thing. Consistency doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you feel overwhelmed, or if the path ahead seems impossible. It asks for one thing: your commitment. It asks for you to trust in the process, even when the results aren't immediately visible. This is the magic of consistency. It doesn't require perfection, only persistence. So what is the one thing you've been putting off because it feels too hard or too big? What's that one goal you've been chasing only to feel overwhelmed and uncertain? The key is to take that goal and break it down into small, manageable tasks. Show up every day and do one thing that moves you closer to it. It doesn't have to be a giant leap, but if you're consistent, those small steps will add up to something extraordinary. Don't underestimate the power of showing up day after day. It's the consistent actions, the quiet moments of perseverance that will carry you further than any burst of motivation ever could. And one day when you look back at how far you've come, you'll realize that it wasn't the big wins that made the difference. It was the daily, unwavering commitment to keep going. Belief is the engine that drives every successful person, every extraordinary achievement. It's the invisible force that powers your actions, shapes your decisions, and ultimately determines your destiny. Without belief, you're left adrift, stuck in the shadows of self-doubt, wondering what could have been. But with belief, everything changes. Suddenly, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You hear a call to action when others are content to sit on the sidelines. Belief isn't just important, it's essential to everything you want to achieve. Think about one of the most iconic figures in history, Nelson Mandela. Here was a man who spent 27 years in prison, who endured unimaginable suffering. And yet, even in the darkest moments, Mandela's belief in freedom, in equality, and in the future of his country remained unshaken. While others might have given up, he held on to the belief that he could make a difference, that a better tomorrow was possible. His belief in himself and his cause ultimately led to his release and his leadership in dismantling apartheid. It was belief that fueled him through those years of hardship. Belief kept him alive and it propelled him toward greatness. But belief isn't just about grand historical figures, it's about you. It's about the belief you carry in your heart right now in this very moment. Think about the goals you're chasing. Do you truly believe that you can achieve them? Or do you still harbor a little doubt? That's the power of belief. It doesn't just empower you to take action, it creates your actions. If you believe that you're capable, you will push forward even when faced with setbacks. If you don't believe, you'll shrink back, you'll hesitate, and you'll miss out on opportunities. One of the most powerful examples of belief in action comes from the world of sports. Look at the story of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He wasn't always a prodigy. In fact, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Can you imagine that? A young Michael Jordan, rejected, overlooked, and dismissed. But instead of allowing that setback to define him, he chose to believe in himself. He believed that failure wasn't permanent. It was just a stepping stone. That belief in his own potential is what pushed him to practice tirelessly, to improve, and to eventually become a 6-time NBA champion. His success wasn't just about talent, it was about an unshakable belief that he could be the best no matter the odds. Belief is psychological fuel. It shapes your thoughts and behaviors at a subconscious level. When you believe in yourself, you don't wait for things to fall into place. You take the reins. You create your reality. Your belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Let's go deeper. Belief is often the first domino in the chain of success. It's the spark that ignites a fire of motivation. Without belief, that fire never starts. But once you believe that something is possible, you begin to take small steps toward it. Those steps turn into actions, and those actions compound into results. But belief isn't a one-time thing. It's something you need to nurture, to feed, and to protect. The world is filled with naysayers, doubters, and critics. They will tell you that your dreams are impossible, that you can't achieve what you're aiming for. But the moment you allow those external voices to drown out your inner belief, you've lost your power. You must guard your belief like the most precious thing you have. So ask yourself, what do you truly believe about yourself and your potential? If you want to live an extraordinary life, you have to start with the unwavering belief that you are capable of achieving extraordinary things. Belief doesn't ask for evidence, it asks for commitment. It doesn't wait for the world to validate you, it pushes you to validate yourself. Now, I want you to think about what's holding you back. What are the doubts that creep into your mind and steal your confidence? Today, you can choose to believe that those doubts are simply illusions. You can choose to believe that your dreams are possible and that you are the one to make them happen. Because the power of belief is the power to transform. When you believe, you unlock potential you never knew existed. And once you believe in your greatness, nothing can stand in your way. Resilience is the defining quality that separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about how you respond to it. Life is full of setbacks, disappointments, and challenges. But the truly resilient don't break under pressure. They bend, they adapt, and they rise again. Every failure is not a reason to quit, but a lesson in disguise, a stepping stone on the path to something greater. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before becoming one of the most successful authors of all time, Rowling faced rejection after rejection. Her manuscript was turned down by 12 different publishers, each one saying the same thing: it wasn't good enough. Imagine hearing no that many times. Most people would have walked away. They would have taken those rejections as proof that they weren't meant to succeed. But Rowling didn't. She believed in her dream and she kept going. Her resilience wasn't built on blind optimism. It was built on the refusal to let failure define her. Her story teaches us that failure is not the end. It's simply a chapter in a bigger story. Now, resilience isn't just about surviving setbacks. It's about bouncing back even stronger. It's about using adversity to fuel growth rather than letting it break you down. Think about Thomas Edison, one of the most successful inventors in history. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways." That's the essence of resilience. Edison didn't see his failures as permanent. He didn't wallow in frustration. He used every failure as a lesson, an opportunity to improve, to adjust his approach, and to try again. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about using it as a tool to forge success. The real power of resilience lies in its ability to transform the way you see the world. When you are resilient, you see obstacles as temporary and surmountable. Before you don't get stuck in a moment of frustration or defeat, you acknowledge the challenge, then choose to move forward with renewed determination. It's this mental shift that allows the resilient to thrive where others falter. But resilience isn't just something you're born with. It's something you develop day by day. It's a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. Every time you face adversity and choose to rise, you're building resilience. Every time you fail and get back up, you're strengthening your mental toughness. This is how you develop the emotional fortitude to push through life's toughest challenges. Let's think about what makes resilience so powerful. Psychologically, when you face a challenge and push through it, your brain rewires itself to view future obstacles as conquerable. You start to believe that no matter how difficult the journey may be, you have the strength and resources to overcome it. This belief isn't just comforting, it's empowering. It changes the way you approach every part of your life. Now, let's talk about why most people struggle with resilience. It's easy to be resilient when things are going well, but when life throws you a curveball, when you face a setback that shakes you to your core, it's much harder to maintain that same level of strength. But here's the key. It's in those moments of hardship where resilience is forged. It's not the victories that define us, it's the way we rise after we've been knocked down. So what's holding you back from embracing resilience in your own life? What is that challenge you've been avoiding or giving up on? I want you to take a moment and shift your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a sign to stop, see it as the ultimate opportunity to grow. Your ability to bounce back stronger, to adapt and keep moving forward is what will make all the difference. In the end, resilience is about never giving up on yourself. It's about choosing to believe in your ability to overcome any obstacle, no matter how insurmountable it may seem. Resilience is your power, your secret weapon, and once you tap into it, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Fold action is the difference between dreaming and doing. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of planning, thinking, and wishing, but nothing changes until you take action. Bold action doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for the right moment. It doesn't rely on the perfect circumstances. It creates the right moment. It pushes through the barriers that others are too afraid to confront. Bold action is what separates the people who merely talk about their dreams and the ones who live them. Look at Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin. Branson didn't start Virgin Airlines because he had everything figured out, and he didn't have all the capital or the perfect roadmap, but he had something far more powerful, the willingness to take bold action. Branson was told over and over again that it was a terrible idea, that it would never work, but instead of listening to the naysayers, he took action. He made the phone calls, hired the people, and launched an airline that would change the industry forever. It wasn't his perfect plan that made him successful. It was his willingness to act, to leap into the unknown, and to trust himself. And now Virgin is one of the most iconic brands in the world. Bold action isn't about having all the answers. It's about taking the first step, even when you're uncertain of what lies ahead. Most people spend too much time waiting for clarity before they take action. But here's the truth, you'll never have complete clarity. The road ahead will always be unclear. The key is to take action anyway. Think about it. What's scarier, taking action with some uncertainty or staying stuck where you are, wondering what might have been? Think about the story of Nike. The company's success was built not just on their innovation in sportswear, but on their legendary just do it mentality. That simple yet powerful message changed the game for athletes and everyday people alike. It wasn't enough for Nike to have a great product. They needed to take bold action, to push a message that spoke to people's deepest desires, to overcome obstacles, to push past limitations, and to take action. And it worked. Nike's success didn't come from perfect products. It came from the boldness to inspire millions to take action. But bold action isn't just about taking risks for the sake of it. It's about calculated risks. It's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, but doing so with the knowledge that every action you take is a lesson in itself. You don't have to have all the answers, but you do have to trust that each step you take moves you closer to your destination. Bold action requires courage, but it also requires faith in the process. It requires the belief that even if things don't work out perfectly, you're going to learn, grow, and get closer to your goals. Psychologically, taking bold action shifts your mindset. It breaks the cycle of overthinking and procrastination. When you take action, you break the inertia. You stop being a passenger in your own life and start becoming the driver. Every time you take bold action, you build momentum. You push past fear and you prove to yourself that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible. Here's the powerful truth. Nothing is going to happen until you take that first step. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Take bold action today. Whatever that one step is, take it. Send the email, make the phone call, sign up for that course. It doesn't have to be big, but it does have to be bold. And once you take that step, another will follow, and another. And soon you'll realize that taking bold action is the catalyst for everything else in your life. It will change the way you see yourself, it will change the way others see you, and most importantly, it will change the trajectory of your life. The life you want is waiting for you on the other side of bold action. So what are you waiting for? Take that first step today, make the decision to act, and the world will start moving with you.